She stumbles through wet leaves, breath tearing out of her chest. Branches slice her arms as she runs, barefoot, bleeding, not stopping. She made it out. She was finally free. A sharp inhale. Behind her, lights snap on, not one, multiple, flooding the forest in harsh white. She freezes mid-step. So why did the lights turn on behind her? Amara Vance, 24, missing for 63 days, last seen stepping out of her office building just after 8:17 p.m. Security cameras caught her adjusting her bag, checking her phone, then walking out of frame. She never came back. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, no ransom, no digital footprint after that moment. Police ran every angle. Abduction targeted, random, nothing held. The case went quiet faster than anyone expected. Too clean, too empty, until one detail refused to sit right. And her phone, it didn't disappear. It pinged, once, just once. 17 minutes after she vanished. Location traced. Not a highway, not a warehouse, not some distant unknown. Her apartment building, same place she had just left. Everything pointed outward, except one thing that pointed back home. The door slams against the wall behind her as she bursts out into the night air. Amara doesn't look back. She doesn't think. She runs. But just minutes earlier, she was underground. Concrete walls. No windows. A single bulb humming overhead. Her hands shaking as she pressed against the door. Locked. Always locked. Except tonight, it wasn't. She turns the handle. Slow. Careful. Expecting resistance. Nothing. It opens. No creak. No alarm. No footsteps rushing toward her. Silence. Too clean. Too easy. She steps into the hallway. Empty. No guards. And no cameras in sight. Just a straight path out. Waiting. The lock wasn't broken. She swallows hard, stepping forward. It was opened. Amara runs until her lungs start to fail her. The trees thin out faster than they should. The ground flattens. And then, headlights. A road. Too close. Too easy. She stumbles onto the asphalt, nearly collapsing as a car approaches. She waves both arms. Desperate. Please! The car slows. Just enough. For a second, she sees the driver's face. A man. Mid-40s. Eyes locked on her. Not confused. Not alarmed. Something else. Recognition. His grip tightens on the wheel. Their eyes meet. One long second. Then, he looks away. Presses the accelerator. The car glides past her. Gone. No hesitation. No help. Just silence swallowing the road again. Amara turns, watching the taillights disappear into darkness. Her breathing stutters. Uneven. Fear shifting into something colder. He saw her and kept driving. A flicker of light in the distance. Neon, buzzing. A gas station, half lit, half dead. Amara moves slower now, crouched low as she approaches. Every sound feels too loud. Every shadow feels placed. She circles the building instead of walking straight in. Peeks around the corner. No clerk visible. Just an empty counter. A small TV playing static behind it. And there, a phone, resting beside the register. Old. Corded, still working. She steps inside. Each footstep cautious, measured. She reaches for the receiver, holds it. Her fingers tremble. This is it. Help. Safety. One call, 3 digits. But she doesn't dial emergency. Doesn't even hesitate. Her fingers move with memory, instinct. A number she knows, by heart. The line rings once. Not twice. Then, click. A voice on the other end. Low, awake, like it's been waiting. Amara closes her eyes. Relief floods her voice. I got out. Silence. Then the voice responds. Calm. Too calm. I know. Her grip tightens around the receiver. She didn't call for help. Her voice drops to a whisper. She called someone who already knew. Miles away, a system pings. Incoming trace. Unregistered call routed through an old landline. Location locked. Gas station off Route 17. The operator frowns, cross-checks the number dialed, and pauses. Run that again. The name comes up. Clear. Immediate. Daniel Vance, older brother, next of kin. The same man who filed the missing persons report. The same man who stood in front of cameras, pleading, begging, organizing search parties, printing flyers, answering questions, never leaving the spotlight. Or an officer leans in. Wait! That's her brother! Another screen lights up. Call duration. Ongoing. Live. They triangulate fast. Units dispatched. Lights off. No sirens. Quiet approach. Inside the gas station, Amara listens. Her expression shifting. Something in the voice on the other end isn't right. Too controlled. Too prepared. You shouldn't be there, he says. Not worried, not relieved, just certain. Her brows pull together. How do you... She stops. Her eyes slowly lift toward the window. Outside, in the distance, faint. Approaching. Lights. Multiple. Again. Not random. Not passing through. Coming straight toward her. Her breath catches. The man leading the search? Her voice barely forms the words. Was the first person she called. The footage loads in fragments. Grainy. Time-stamped. Black and white. A camera angle, top corner of the gas station canopy. 2:13 a.m. Amara enters frame, barefoot, hair matted, clothes torn. She moves fast at first, checking corners, scanning shadows. Then, she slows, stops. Right beneath the camera, an officer leans closer to the screen. Pause. That. Freeze. Frame. Amara's face tilts upward. Not searching. Direct. Locked. She's looking straight into the lens. No panic, no confusion. Something deliberate. She lifts the phone to her ear. Her lips move. The audio isn't recorded, but her expression is. Tight. Focused. Listening more than speaking. Then, mid-call, she pulls the receiver away. Just slightly. As if giving space for something to be heard or recorded. Zoom. The tech enhances the frame. Her eyes flick. Left. Toward the road. Lights reflecting faintly across her pupils. She sees something coming. And instead of running... Instead of hiding, she lowers the receiver, lets it hang. The cord stretches, swings. Then, she drops it. It hits the floor, loud, intentional. Her gaze returns to the camera. 1 second, 2, long enough. Then she steps backward, out of frame, gone. The room goes quiet. No one speaks for a moment. One officer finally exhales. She didn't hide. Another finishes the thought, voice tight. She made sure she was seen. The address comes from fragments, property records, old utility spikes, a rural listing tied to a shell name. 20 minutes from the gas station. Units move in before sunrise. No sirens, no warning. The house sits still, lights off, front door unlocked. They enter slow, weapons raised room by room, kitchen clean, living room untouched. No signs of forced entry, no overturned furniture, no chaos. Upstairs, empty, beds made, closets organized, everything. Maintained, too maintained. Clear, someone calls out. But it doesn't feel clear, it feels staged. Check below. Basement door. At the end of a narrow hallway, closed. An officer grips the handle, opens it. The smell hits first. Not decay, not damp, sterile, processed. They descend, slow, careful, lights flick on, and then they stop. The room is empty. No chains, no ropes, no marks on the floor, no blood, nothing that screams captivity. Just space. Wide. Open. Wrong. Then someone steps closer to the wall, touches it, frowns. Foam. Paneling. Thick. Layered. Covering every inch. Floor to ceiling. Soundproof padding. Installed professionally. Seamless. Not rushed. Not temporary. Deliberate design. An officer runs his hand across it, presses harder, dense, engineered. Oh, to keep noise out? Someone mutters. Another shakes his head slowly, eyes scanning the room, the size, the isolation, the intent. No. His voice drops, realization settling in. To keep it in. Silence fills the space. He turns slowly in the center of the room. No restraints, no signs of struggle. Nothing forced, nothing broken. Everything is controlled, measured, contained. This wasn't a prison. He looks up at the ceiling, at the single centered light. It was a controlled space. The journal is found where nothing else was, hidden in plain sight. Bottom drawer of a metal cabinet in the basement. No lock, no dust, like it was meant to be discovered. An officer flips it open, pages filled. Neat handwriting, consistent, dated. Day 1, Day 3, Day 7. No gaps, no frantic scribbles, no signs of panic. And the room goes quieter with every page turned. Read that, someone says. The lead investigator takes over, eyes scanning, then slowing. Subject responds to light deprivation within acceptable threshold. A pause. He turns the page. Day 12. Vocal resistance decreased significantly after repetition cycle. Another page. Day 19. Memory fragmentation improving. Identity recall now inconsistent under pressure. He stops reading. Looks up. No one speaks. Another officer steps closer. Is that her writing? Handwriting matches. Confirmed. No doubt. They keep going. Page after page. Structured, measured, almost clinical. No help me, no get me out, no fear. Only notes, patterns, adjustments, corrections. One entry circled. Day 27. Subject attempted deviation today. Reinforcement required. ID response successful. The investigator's jaw tightens. Subject? He flips back. Earlier entries. Same word, repeated. Subject. Not me, not I. Detached, controlled. Another page. Near the end. The tone sharpens. More focused. Final stage requires external trigger. Timing must align with observation point. A long silence follows. Someone finally says it. Quiet. Uneasy. She wasn't describing captivity. The investigator closes the journal slowly, eyes fixed on the last page. She was recording a process. Daniel Vance doesn't ask for a lawyer. He doesn't stall, doesn't resist. He sits down like he's been here before. Hands folded, back straight, calm, too calm. The interrogation room light hums softly above him. The investigator places the journal on the table, slides it forward. Daniel glances at it. Just once. No surprise. And no confusion, just recognition. He leans back slightly, exhales. She wrote that, the investigator says. Daniel nods. Slow, measured. She's always been, methodical. No emotion in his voice, no relief, no anger, just explanation. The investigator studies him. Your sister's been missing for 63 days. Daniel tilts his head slightly. Was. A small correction, barely noticeable, but it lands. Hard. The investigator doesn't react outwardly. She called you, he continues. We traced it. Daniel's lips press together briefly. then release. She's confused right now, he says, disoriented. Trauma does that. His tone is smooth, practiced, like he said this before, to someone else, somewhere else. The investigator leans in. You seem very sure of her condition. Daniel shrugs lightly. She's my sister. A beat. I know how she thinks. Silence stretches. Then, the investigator flips open a file, slides a photo across the table. The basement, the padded walls. Daniel's eyes flick down, then back up. No hesitation, no flinch. Soundproofing, he says, before anyone asks. The room stills. The investigator doesn't move. Why would you say that? He asks quietly. Daniel blinks once, realizes. Just a fraction too late. He leans back again, recomposes. Just looks like it, he replies. Too quick, too clean. The investigator doesn't break eye contact. We didn't release that detail. Silence. A long one, heavy. Daniel's fingers tap once against the table, then stop. The investigator's voice lowers, sharpening. You said she's confused. A pause. Then how did you know exactly where she was kept? Daniel doesn't answer immediately. His eyes shift. Not to the door, not to the mirror, to the journal, just for a second, but it's enough. He knew things. The investigator's voice is almost a whisper now. He wasn't supposed to know. Daniel finally smiles. Small, controlled, and for the first time, unsettling. The audio takes hours to recover. Static, interference, fragments stitched together piece by piece, but eventually, it plays. The room dims as they isolate the sound. Gas station background noise hums faintly, the low buzz of faulty electricity. Then, Amara's voice, soft, controlled. I got out. A pause, breathing on both ends. Then, clearer now, closer to the receiver, a whisper. Did it work? The investigator freezes the playback. Rewinds. Plays it again. Same tone. Same precision. Not fear. Not relief. Verification. Protocol. Did it work? Someone in the room mutters, That's not a victim. No one disagrees. The audio continues. A gap. 3 seconds. 4. Then, a voice responds. Distorted at first. Cleaned gradually. Lower pitch. Measured. Unfamiliar. Not Daniel. Continue. One word. Calm. Directive. The investigator leans forward, eyes narrowing. That's not her brother. Another tech shakes his head. Different vocal pattern. Different cadence. They isolate the waveform, overlay it with Daniel's recorded voice. No match. Not even close. The audio plays again. Amara doesn't question it. Doesn't panic. Doesn't ask who's there. She responds instantly, like she understands, like she's expecting it. A faint exhale escapes her lips. Then, the sound of movement. The receiver shifting, dropping, impact, silence. The investigator slowly removes his headphones, sets them down, carefully, as if the sound might still be dangerous. She didn't escape. His voice is low, measured, eyes fixed on nothing. She checked in. The pattern doesn't appear all at once. It builds, case by case, file by file. Someone pulls an old report, then another, then 10 more. Different cities, different states, different names, but the timelines, too similar. Disappearances, short, not months, weeks, sometimes days. Then they come back on their own. No rescue, no clear explanation. Statements taken, nothing useful. Victims disoriented, but not broken. Not the way they should be. One investigator spreads the files across a table, photos aligned side by side. Faces of people who were once missing, now found, all staring at the camera, all slightly off. "Look at their eyes," someone says. No one argues. There's something consistent. Not emptiness, not trauma, something else, control or awareness. They dig deeper. Behavior after return, patterns emerge, routine changes, social withdrawal. Then, subtle influence, each one connected to someone else within months, a coworker, a friend, a neighbor. And in 3 separate cases, another disappearance follows. The same cycle, again and again and again. One report stands out. A woman missing for 9 days, returned, refused medical attention, told police she just needed time. 2 weeks later, her roommate vanished. Same pattern, same timeline, same outcome. The room tightens with every connection made. This wasn't isolated. This wasn't random. This was structured, replicated, refined. The investigator flips back to Amara's journal. Final stage requires external trigger. He looks up slowly, then at the board filled with faces, with timelines, with connections. She wasn't the first. His voice carries across the room, heavy, certain, just the first to slip. Silence follows, because now they're not asking what happened to Amara. They're asking how many more are already out there, walking, talking, waiting. The board fills faster than anyone can process. Pins, strings, photos, addresses. It stops looking like an investigation and starts looking like a map, not random, not scattered, connected. One analyst zooms out on the digital overlay. Multiple cities light up, points blinking, then lines begin to draw themselves between them. Routes, repeating paths, clusters forming patterns. "Run proximity analysis," the lead says. The system recalculates, groups the locations. 3 categories emerge, marked automatically. A Zone A, safe houses, residences tied to short-term occupancy, leased under fake identities, rotated every few months, always clean, always empty by the time they're found. Zone B, observation points, gas stations, parking lots, roadside motels, places with cameras, visibility, controlled exposure. The exact kind of place Amara stepped into. Not hidden, seen. Zone C, controlled environments, basements, storage units, converted interiors, every one of them modified, soundproofed, isolated, consistent layout, same measurements, same materials, same purpose. The investigator stares at the pattern, zooms further out. The spacing between each location, deliberate, no overlap, no gaps, coverage, like a grid. "Who builds something like this?" someone asks. No one answers, because the question is already evolving, not who, but how long. And they cross-reference timestamps. Earliest case, 5 years ago, unsolved, labeled as voluntary disappearance. Next one, 4 years, then 3, then more frequent, closer together, refined, improved. Whatever this is, it's been tested, adjusted, perfected. The investigator flips back to the journal again. Repetition cycle. Reinforcement. Final stage. He looks at the board, at the network, at the precision. "This isn't experimentation," he says quietly. "It's implementation." A technician pulls up traffic cam data, filters vehicles passing near multiple points. One plate appears more than once. Then again. Different city, same car, different registration, cloned. The movement is careful, disciplined, no mistakes, except one. Amara. The footage from the gas station replays on a side screen, her looking directly at the camera. "I'm holding the call longer than necessary, dropping the phone, not escaping, signaling. Something went wrong, or something changed. The investigator steps back, taking it all in. Safe houses, observation points, controlled rooms, victims who return, and continue the cycle. A system that feeds itself, quietly, efficiently, invisible in plain sight. Until now. He exhales slowly, eyes fixed on the network. This wasn't a crime. The room feels smaller as the weight of it settles in. Bigger than one victim, bigger than one suspect, structured, sustained, still active. It was a system, and systems don't stop on their own. They find her just before sunrise, not hiding, not running, standing. At the edge of a service road less than 2 miles from the gas station. An officer spots her first. Visual confirmed. No resistance, and no attempt to flee. She doesn't even turn when the vehicles stop behind her. Doors open, boots hit the ground, weapons lowered but ready. Amara? Nothing. She stands still, head slightly tilted, like she's listening to something they can't hear. They approach slowly, carefully. Amara, you're safe now. That word, safe, it doesn't land. No reaction, no relief. One officer steps closer, within arm's reach now. You've been missing for... I know. She says it quietly, flat. He stops, thrown off. You know? A pause. Then she finally turns. Her face is calm. Too calm. No tears, no fear, no confusion, just awareness, measured, controlled. Her eyes scan them. Not like a victim recognizing help, like someone assessing variables, positions, timing. She looks past them, at the vehicles, at the officers forming a perimeter, at the radio clipped to one man's shoulder, taking it all in, processing. The lead investigator steps forward. Careful. Amara, can you tell us what happened? Silence. A long one, then she speaks. Not urgently, not emotionally, simply. I wasn't supposed to leave yet. The words hit wrong. Every instinct in the room shifts. The investigator narrows his eyes. What do you mean? She doesn't answer immediately. Her gaze drifts. Back toward the road. Back toward where she came from. Or where she was meant to stay. Something triggered early, she says, more to herself than to them. Her hands flex slightly at her sides. Not nervous, not afraid, adjusting, recalibrating. You weren't supposed to leave, the investigator presses. Her eyes meet his again, and for the first time, there's something there. Not fear, not panic. Recognition of a mistake. Not hers, theirs. She didn't break free. The investigator feels it before he understands it. Every piece snapping into place. Wrong. Completely wrong. Amara's voice finishes it. Soft. Certain. She broke the schedule. Daniel Vance is gone before they can bring him back in. No forced entry, no struggle. His apartment, clean. Too clean. Devices wiped, clothes missing, no digital trail, like he stepped out of his own life, on purpose. The man who led the search, now part of the pattern. The case escalates overnight. Task forces, federal involvement, data pulled from everywhere. But the deeper they dig, the less they find. Because whatever this is, it's already moving, already adapting. These 3 days later, another report comes in. Different city, different name, a woman, 26, last seen leaving work. No witnesses, no struggle, phone inactive, except one ping. 17 minutes later, near her own apartment. The room goes silent as the report is read. No one needs to say it. They've seen this before. They're seeing it again. The investigator looks at Amara's file, at the journal, at the footage, at the network map, then at the new case, and something settles in. Cold. Final. This wasn't random. It wasn't even about her. Amara sits in a secured room miles away, monitored, observed, not restrained, because she hasn't tried to leave. She sits the same way she stood on that road. Still, aware, waiting, participating. Her escape wasn't survival, it was disruption, a deviation, and a flaw in something that wasn't supposed to fail. They thought she escaped. The investigator stares at the growing list of cases, the repeating pattern, the expanding system, his voice barely above a whisper. But she was the only one who failed. Do you think Amara was a victim or something else? Why did the driver ignore her? And the biggest question, who was on the phone? Subscribe if you want stories that don't give you all the answers, because the next one might connect to this.